Hey, what's going on YouTube? I'm Dark Jack, and in this video I'm going to give you my review of Sir Hammerlock's Big Game Hunt, which is the third DLC for Borderlands 2 after completing the main storyline. And in this DLC the level cap has not been raised. Level 50 is still the maximum level, and that's the level that I was when I completed the first two DLC portions, and so because the level cap has not been raised yet, that really removes the incentive to kill enemies. And I found myself, when I played the DLC, just sprinting through areas and not killing any enemies because there was no incentive for me to kill them to level up. So my recommendation is that when you play Borderlands 2, don't turn in any of the side missions until the level cap is raised. That way your experience points will count towards your next level. And Gearbox has said they're going to raise the level cap independently of any DLC. And Randy Pitchford said that only 16% of players have reached level 50. And so I think they're waiting until more people reach level 50 before raising the level cap. And they've also hinted at more DLC beyond the 4th expansion pack that's possibly not included in the season pass. Now the length of Sir Hammerlock's Big Game Hunt is about the same as the other two DLCs. I'd say the main quest is a little shorter than the other two, but there are more side missions in this DLC than the others that involve hunting down and killing monsters. And as the other two DLCs had, this one also has endgame content, where you get to face off against bosses that are really difficult, where you need your friends to help you out. Now the main plot of Sir Hammerlock's Big Game Hunt is that Sir Hammerlock has invited you on a big game hunt to hunt down monsters, but along the way you meet Dr. Nakayama, who is trying to clone Handsome Jack, and it is your mission to stop him. And I'd say the overall feel of this DLC is the same as the Zombie Island of Dr. Ned, which is the first DLC for the first Borderlands game. The environment is murky, rainy, muddy. There are portions where it feels depressing because the environment is very blue and murky and greenish brown and muddy. It's not at all what I expected. When I heard of Sir Hammerlock's Big Game Hunt, I expected it to be kind of like a safari and going on an African field trip to hunt monsters, a very green, savanna type environment. But it's not that way at all. It's very murky and swampy, and there's lots of rain, and it feels kind of depressing. So it's not what I expected. And in this DLC there are lots of new enemies. There's a new type of enemy called the Witch Doctor, which is a real pain to deal with. The Witch Doctor buffs the enemies around him, so the longer he stays alive, the higher the level of the enemies around him. So you have to make it your number one priority to kill him quickly, which is hard because of all the enemies that are around him. So my recommendation for taking him out is to use Slag and then to use a rocket launcher to finish him off. And there are two different types of Witch Doctors. There's the Fire Witch Doctor and the Electricity one. So you don't want to use a fire weapon on the fire one, and you don't want to use an electrical weapon on the electric one. So slag them and then kill them with a different type of element that they're not part of. And also many of the enemies in the game wear masks, so it's difficult to get a headshot. So getting a critical hit on them is hard. I found the best strategy to be to slag them and then to kill them with my fire shotgun. And the enemies overall in this DLC feel harder than the enemies of previous DLCs in the main game. So I recommend using a slag weapon, a fire weapon, a corrosive weapon, and a rocket launcher. And then to slag the enemies and then to kill them with the corresponding weapon. So if they have a red health bar, use a fire weapon. If they have a yellow one, use a corrosive weapon. And then use a rocket launcher if you get in trouble. And an electric weapon for enemies with blue health bars. And it's possible just to run through the main storyline without killing any enemies. So if you don't feel like killing enemies, you can just run through the entire storyline and beat it in 2 hours. Also, when I played it, the badass token glitch was not fixed for me. I did not get any badass tokens or ranks through playing this game because it was still bugged. And I couldn't play with any online players because it still said I needed to download a compatibility pack after I had already installed the DLC. And then after I installed it, I went to go download the compatibility pack. But then it still would not allow me to play with other players. It still said I needed to download it after I already did. So this DLC is definitely designed for friends and not for playing solo like I did. And when you play with friends, it's a lot more fun rather than playing solo, because when you play solo, there are so many enemies and it feels overwhelming because there are so many different variety and types of enemies that you'll get overwhelmed, especially with the new Witch Doctor, because he's so powerful. So the final verdict of Big Game Hunt is that the DLC is fun. I'd say it's about the same as the first DLC in terms of its fun level. But overall, I'd have to say it's a disappointment because of the depressing, murky environment, and also because the level cap has not been raised. And having a raised level cap would help out a lot, because a lot of the enemies are very difficult. Once the level cap is raised, it's going to be a lot easier, and it's going to be a lot more fun as well, and rewarding, because you're going to be rewarded for your effort. And also in my playthrough, I only found a few weapons that were better than weapons that I already had. So overall, I would say that if you were disappointed in the first two DLCs, you're probably going to be disappointed in this one as well. So if I were to grade this game on a scale of 1 to 10, I would probably give this DLC a 7.5 out of 10. It's decent, but it's not amazing or great. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys later.